Selling to your business.
Welcome to episode 4 of the caffeine and fuck.
Uh,
What is it?
Have it first, like.
Caffeine and Canines podcasts. We have got Sabrina Moswitzer.
Very good.
Yeah. Our first international guest.
It only took 4 episodes to go.
4 episodes.
25%
25% of our episodes have now got international guests. So that's very good.
Oh, it depends. Like you're international as well.
I guess so. Yeah, I am. So we've done 2 podcasts in a week now. Well, I think we're gonna. Yeah. So,
there's only so much waffle we can produce.
So we've got Sabrina, who is a fellow dog trainer from Austria. So we're going to talk about dog training today.
Yes.
I'm going to talk about if there's any differences to how we train dogs and how you train dogs.
Mm-hmm.
But firstly, the first question I have for you, Sabrina, is what brings you to the UK now?
Well, I used to live in Leeds and work here, and then I found an Englishman.
Yep, a good Englishman.
Ex-
No.
And but sorry to say that, but the weather here was not so good as in Austria.
So you shipped him out.
Shipped him out, and
Okay.
then I went back to Austria.
Yep.
Because I like 4 seasons, not just one.
Yeah.
Really.
Okay. Yeah. We have a couple of days or so.
Yeah.
Like we have a couple of days that are kind of too hot,
There's a picture
and we moan,
Yeah, that's true. Actually.
and then the rain comes back, and then we wish for the heat again.
There's a picture of us somewhere with tans.
Is there?
I don't go on the sunbed.
Yeah, do you? That's the same.
So
Same
you
stuff. No.
Yeah, I know that from somewhere, like someone complaining about sun.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah.
but yeah, back now to visit friends and family and stuff like this. So
Very good.
and
And the last time we met or spoke,
yeah,
well, the last time we told your boyfriend that we met or spoke was neither of us were dog trainers then.
Yes, of course. Yeah. True.
So, my next question, it'd be a while ago.
Yeah.
My next question is, how did you get into dog training?
Yeah. Well, the typical thing, like I've always been with horses and dogs as a kid.
Okay.
And then family saying, do something proper. You can't like earn your living with like animals.
Yep.
So it's always been like a hobby.
Yep.
And then I went into the corporate world and realized being 9 to 5 in the office wasn't for me.
Yep.
And then went back to Austria and went back into like horse riding.
Okie doke.
Got a dog myself. First of all, like also helped out like in a bit of like a shelter stuff and like friends and family asking me, helping with their dogs, like having a general feeling about like dog training.
Yep.
And then a dog trainer asked me out like to help out a little bit on sessions, and then there's like an academy in Salzburg. It's called Hundefloh, which is like the biggest Austrian like mobile dog training company. We have like 100 trainers in Austria, Germany, Luxembourg, and also in like northern Italy. And work in partnership with that. And I've done the academy there. Like you go, like you have like theory-based courses, and then you go with like different dog trainers. I've been all over Austria and like in Germany as well with like different dog trainers and seeing how they work. So we have like the concept is similar of how you work. And but it's more like we don't work on like the like a special spot like you have here, but more like outside. Exactly. And then I've done the academy then also with my own dog. And
So did you go to the academy as a client? Sorry.
Yeah, I started as a client because I was like looking into like different like dog training, like the usual ones that you have. I don't know how it's in the UK, but you have like obedience clubs or like really I don't know how to say that, but really out there, more like I don't know.
Just say it. Spit it out. There's no.
Two fairy tale dog trainers that weren't for me, and then through like it was like a dog shop like that sells like articles and stuff like this. I went there for like a collar.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, last time I've been here, your dog was going mental, and now it's like laying there fine and like not making any,
Yep.
like being relaxed. And she was like, oh, like it's with like one of the trainers of like Hundefloh.
Yep.
And I was like, that sounds interesting.
Yep.
So
Results. You saw the rest.
yeah, I saw the results, and then I was like, oh, that sounds like I'm interested. And then yeah, that's how I got into it. And then I worked like part-time only for a short period.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was going that well that I'm doing that like full-time now a year.
Oh, very good.
Part-time a bit longer,
Okay.
but like
Awesome.
yeah. And
Nice.
I'm pretty full, which is good.
That's good.
Yeah, good recommendations. And I think if you are putting the work out there and like not talk too much but do more,
Yeah.
then people will come to you anyways because they see the results.
The dog.
Exactly.
Very good. What were you going to ask?
Yeah.
I was going to ask initially what dog. Only I know, but so other people know.
I am. It's like it looks like a brown Labrador, but it's a crossbreed between brown Labrador and a long hair pointer.
I thought it was just a Labrador.
Yeah,
Male,
no.
female?
Male.
Very good.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Male. Hank.
Hank. Very good
Yeah.
name.
Yeah.
And how old was Hank when you first underwent some training?
I've done obviously a lot myself, and I think I've been very sensible, but not knowing the theory behind it. In hindsight, I think I've done like just a bit of like having general understanding helped, and then with like obviously typical teacher phase when I was like, that doesn't work with that like fella. Tried to get some help with like recall and stuff like this because we've got a lot of like deer and stuff like that. And he's like both of his parents were used for hunting.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I knew that. I wanted a hunting dog. And yeah, it was a bit of an accident of that too. And then I was like, oh yeah, that puppy, that works.
It's a puppy, yeah?
Yeah, it's a puppy, yeah.
And then where did the issues come in? 8-9 months?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, typical teenager, like getting into puberty, being like trying to do a recall, and him being like showing you the middle finger in the face and being like, ha ha ha, let's make a play out of this. Woo! But yeah,
Pointers as well.
Hank the Tank.
Exactly. Yeah, and he looks like he has a lot of a Labrador.
Yeah.
But you like a lot of people when he's like running around doing like he always has a bit of this like hunting running around, but it's not like it's just where the long hair pointer comes in.
Okay.
But yeah, no, he's a great dog. I have him with in trainings a lot, and when I have like reactive dogs and I do the first like interaction with like other dogs, like going on trying to like pass the owner with the dog and stuff like this, I've always have him with, and he's amazing.
Very good. So he's like your stooge dog now.
Yeah, he's like my colleague.
Yeah, that's good.
Buddy,
nice.
Which is good.
Build a nice relationship when you start taking the dog to work and
and I think that's really important. What I see with a lot of like different dog trainers and stuff like this, that you don't see their dog or you don't see them taking them within difficult situations. And I think it's a bit of you're selling something like a concept. And if you can't show it with your own dog, why should someone else do it then? Like that's really important to me as well.
It's difficult though, right? Because obviously Jacob and I have spoken about this before, and sometimes you need your dog to be golden, but then actually sometimes you need a dog. So it's useful for us because we have other dogs on site as well. But actually, sometimes some of his dogs initially are so golden that they don't set other dogs off. Because they don't pay attention to the dog. They don't pull on the lead and try and get to him and do whatever. So actually, sometimes you almost need a wayward dog. Fortunately, I've got a few of those. But you sometimes need him almost not to be golden and have that relaxed ties off. Okay, go and carry on.
Yeah.
Because when you bring your stooge out and your stooge is like either in a low state of arousal or focused on you and not like eyeballing the other dog, they go, it's usually loads worse than this.
But
But
I have like I have now a really good setup of like clients, and I think I have a really good feeling of like dogs and when they set off and how bad it is or whatever. So
Yeah.
I like arrange appointments, which is like an hour for this person and an hour and half an hour is together. And I work 2 dogs, for example.
Oh, that's quite
then,
good.
Yeah. And
So
then,
you'll have an overlap.
yes.
It's like an hour and a half each, but
Yeah.
half of that time is
Yes.
overlap. Oh,
Yeah.
that's really good.
So both of them have like something of it. And it's good because sometimes I need this like, I'm going for like this like walk like somewhere, I don't know, like Golden Acre Park with a client, and then I informed another client beforehand, calling them saying, look, you're coming from this side and you're coming towards us, and giving them instructions so that I have a bit of a
setup.
Yeah, a bit of a setup.
That's good.
Then I can react if something, and they both can. I don't know how it is with you guys, but when you are with the clients, it sometimes works better because they're not for the dogs, but because the humans are more comfortable.
Of course.
And you give them like that comfort feeling of like being more
It's like a rally
self-aware.
car driver. The person next door just next to them, just giving them
Yeah,
instructions. And
yeah.
it's a bit
And
easier.
and sometimes then I need to bring them in situations where they know I'm around somewhere, but they're a little bit on their own.
Trees like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm small, so it's fine.
That's funny you say that.
Yeah.
And then you get clients a lot that'll say, "Oh, the dog's great when you're here,"
Yes.
and I'm like, "Well, you're great
Yes.
when I'm here because
Yes.
I'm pestering you
Yeah.
when you're here." And we've done home
Yeah.
visits before
Yeah.
where I've rang the client, I've parked down the street.
Yes.
I've said, "Right, come out of your house and show me what you do with your dog," and I have stayed in the car.
Yeah.
And then I've seen the client walk out of the house. Dog's been perfect, and they're doing like, what the fuck? He never does this.
Yeah.
He never does this. He knows you're here.
Yeah.
You know I'm here.
Yes.
You know I'm here. So you're doing it right.
Yes, yeah. You'll be watched by me, getting told off later.
Yes.
Yeah, then people are coming like, oh, it's the energy around. That's no, it's not. It's your body
Chakra.
language.
Chakra.
Yeah, exactly.
The vibrations.
Yeah, I don't know. The smells that you bring with, like, too. I don't know. But yeah.
Chakra-proof vans.
Chakra.
Vans.
Yeah. I'm gonna get a priest to bless my van. Right, take all the chakra away from this van.
We're laughing, but they're out there. Anyways,
You're right. Yeah, clients are often better at handling when they've got. I think it is an element of comfort though.
Yeah.
Because if the dog does blow up,
yeah,
and the dog does react, it's like we're like, so what? It's the old man.
And they know then not to overly like I always say, don't like make them too much into humans. Like it can be your baby at home sometimes, but not all the time. And then they know, oh, Sabrina said I shouldn't do this when I'm this, and when they see me or when they know I'm around.
Yeah.
And you can tell, I don't know, when sometimes I see them waiting and they're a bit early, and I'm like, what the fuck are they doing there? Like, you're driving there, it's like,
that's pretty good around.
Yeah.
I drive home.
Yeah.
And I see a couple of people.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? I kind of feeling I'm winding the window down. What are you doing?
I have done that.
Yeah.
I have done that. I have done that. Yeah. I saw a client and they were like this, and I was like, going past like this, and stop, and I was like, hey, and with the dog.
Yeah.
Know what to do.
Oh, I'm watching you.
Yeah.
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 And then you get an email. Oh, they're still reacting. Well, like I have a fucking feeling why.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what's your common philosophy? We're not going in that deep. What's your common problems that you're dealing with?
Reactivity, reactivity.
Okay.
And recall issues.
Okay.
Yeah, that's like
They're largely the same as us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you do like call outs to people's houses, go to their houses, or do you try and meet in a public place more often than not?
It depends. Like first, I always go home to them because I always want to see how the structure is at home, because it's usually a problem. Like it's not. I don't want to treat the symptoms. I want to solve the problems. And I always say, if you don't have rules at home, how should you know how to behave outside? So oh, yeah.
Preach, sister.
Oh, yeah. That's when I was listening to one of your podcasts when you said something similar, and I was like, oh my god, yes.
Yeah.
Anyways, so yeah, I can see the dog there, and then listen to the problems, and then if it's usually start in like a low distraction environment, and then gradually like go into higher distraction areas. And because I always want to teach the dog first to understand like a command and what they want, because I always use the language learning thing like as an example.
Yeah, okay.
If you want to learn a language and we are like here in a chilled setup, you will like, it will be easier for you. If I would go with you like on a Christmas Saturday shopping day in Trinity Center, it will be harder for you. So
yeah.
If
you've got agoraphobia like Kirky.
First teaching the dog in like in a low stress environment what you want from them, and then gradually. And that depends on the dog and the handler. How far you can, or like how quick you can move forward. And sometimes like people don't, I don't know how it is here, but sometimes they don't believe you if you say you give them structure at home. It will get better outside as well.
So difficult to, I suppose, convince people that byproducts of training that doesn't necessarily acutely address their issue will holistically address their issue, I guess, if that makes sense. So
the whole resources, for example, I think what you've been going on about as well is like use their essential food. Like I'm big into that as well. It takes gradually I felt it takes the time for the clients to realize that will help, and that that's not a punishment. Or like that the dog can relax at home, that you need to show them how to relax. And that you don't let them like stress out at home, running about most of the time, not having enough sleep.
Well,
Have you been somewhere before? No.
We've running around picking crocs up, and and more often than not, when you've got a reactive dog or a dog with a behavioural issue, you have to strip things back a little bit, and you hit the nail on the head. Sometimes the human part of that relationship can think, oh, I'm punishing my dog just by stripping things back, like not giving the dog so much freedom or time to be in a hyper aroused state all around the house. And then when the dog does calm down, the owner goes, oh, my dog's depressed because they're not running around being a massive dickhead in the house. And actually, no, they're in a much happier state of mind because they're not in a hyper aroused state, which is counterintuitive to mental development and learning. So that's difficult. I suppose people say all the time it must be great working with dogs and you must have the job of your dreams, but the dog part is easy. The convincing of the human that they need to make X, Y, and Z changes, that's the difficult bit. Like trying to convey a message and convince people that you may not want to acutely do this. It may be boring, or you may feel mean on the dog by putting him in the crate for a nap or whatever. Convincing them that that's actually going to benefit the dog in the long run. I think that's the most difficult bit. And
I always like try and think in my head that was a bit difficult at first. You can't save all the dogs. You can just try and make the living situation better for them. And I always say, in terms of like as a cooking thing reference, I can give you the recipe, but you need to cook yourself. And if they don't do it, you can't just like go on about it, and you just need to hope that they will do it for the dog. And the dog will get things quickly. That's the same, I think, because you are working quite a bit with like the dogs when they're at residentials. I don't have that, for example. It will work with you quicker than with the handler. Because they are still unsure in their behavior, and you know what you want, and the dogs will like, okay, got it, okay, we're doing it like this.
We've got a history of reinforcement of getting it wrong.
And then when they are with like their owner, it's then a different story because
That's like the Barney scenario, right?
Yeah, so recently we've had a dog on residential for a month.
Okay, yeah.
And it was a cockapoo, overexcitable dog, like all your normal cockapoo stuff, right? Do you have many cockapoos over there?
It's coming.
It's coming. It's here right now for us. And as a dog, I really don't mind them. I've met some nice cockapoos, especially Barney, right? So unfortunately, Barney's human owner, dad, let's call him, had a change in circumstance. The dog was amazing on residential, like such a biddable little dog. And we had him for 4 weeks. It probably wasn't even all that necessary, but yeah, he was here for 4 weeks, did absolutely all of our curriculum, nailed it, was passed between all of our training staff, so we kind of got used to being handled by different people. And like any residential handover, dad comes to pick him up. The dog tests. Okay, let's go back to old ways now because I preferred doing what I wanted.
Oh, it happens.
So what do you want? Yeah, great. Oh, fucking brilliant. Back in the driver's seat. Dad, get in the car. We're going. Anyway, Barney's dad had a change in circumstance. And needed a rehome Barney. So my mum decided to adopt Barney this dog. Now, that's a dog that's been trained on residential, that's going to his owner, but it's a new owner with a clean sheet. And it's probably been our most successful residential handover ever because I've said to my mum, you have to do this, this, and this because I know what's going to happen if she don't. And to be fair to her, she's stuck to it. Mostly,
it's quite good.
Yeah, like most. It's not bad for a mum, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
You're talking from experience here.
Understanding though that she had to tick certain boxes to get the dog she wanted, don't she?
Yeah.
Because she goes on big walks and maybe wants them to be off lead, so
yeah,
you don't get that by fluke, do you? So
No.
she was like, "Yeah, all right, I don't want to listen to Sunjay."
My son.
Yeah.
But again,
Yeah. Does he? Does he? I don't know. And then, but yeah, he's been amazing. He's been with her since Christmas now, and great in his crate. Will do place. She's taken him absolutely everywhere.
Yeah.
Can be left. Walks nicely on a lead. Has him off lead. Recalls. Like it's been really, really good. And it was a luxury that we don't get to see often. Doing a residential handover to a fresh home, where my mum was a clean sheet. It was fascinating, and the dog Barney was just like, "Oh, okay, this is just one of those new people that I have to listen to."
Yeah.
And it's been a really good process. So we're just going to do residentials and get people to swap dogs.
Yeah.
Here you go. You have that one, and you'll be fine. Okay, right.
Yeah.
Best. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have another question for you. If you had, so you had the classic baptism by fire, took a dog to dog training, fell in love with the process of dog training, wanted to become a dog trainer, essentially what I did. What would you do different with Hank as a puppy, knowing what you know now as a professional dog trainer?
Yeah. So I got Hank, it was January, February before the pandemic happened. I didn't know that the pandemic would happen because there was March, April.
Yeah.
So I didn't have the chance of like taking him and socialize him in terms of I always did something that I want to always make clear with my clients, in my opinion. Socializing is not meeting loads of other dogs. Socializing is socializing the environment.
Yeah.
And I didn't have that chance with him. Going to shopping centers and stuff like this.
People don't like hearing that advice though, do they?
Yes, they hate it.
They fucking hate it. They want to get their dog to be best friends with absolutely everyone.
Yeah. And they can only be social and not reactive with other dogs when they meet every other dog.
It's just mental. It's so counterintuitive. Although it doesn't, I suppose from an out like
there's an element of basic logic, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah,
if he meets dogs, he'll like dogs, but obviously there's a byproduct that comes.
So that's definitely one point that where it was fine for like he was just a bit more stressed in the situations when finally something opened and like my first thing was like, okay, I like really need to like go into like a builder's yard or something and get him used to these. But because he had the trust in me and knows that I give him like structure and he knows where to come if he doesn't know what to do, like not react himself, asking, "Mom, what shall I do?" That helped massively, but that was something that I feel like I really missed out with him and where it could have been much better. to take him like loads. That's why I say it like to my clients as well. If when you have a puppy, like I go with them. The first time I go with them together, like in like high distraction places, and like see how the puppies, how they handle it and stuff like this. So that was something I would definitely do different.
Just more environmental socialization.
Yes, yeah, but I didn't at that time didn't have the chance for it. So yeah, that was a bit difficult, like a bit more stressful for him then. But I did like a lot of training in terms of helping him, like having a good place command for like a down command or something to help him relax, because he's like a typical Labrador.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, I'm stressed, so I run around and
get
even more stressed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's Hank's temperament like as a dog? Like, what's his baseline dog? What do you see?
He he's just really excited and like aroused, really, really excited. Yeah, he gets aroused really quickly, but in a positive way. Like he's just really hyper. And if he sleeps and I will like, a bit like me. If he's like relaxed, and I could easily make him super excited and like, are we gonna do something? He's like, oh yeah, party. Yeah.
Whirlwind.
Okay, what are we doing?
Okay.
Yeah, but
I'd take that.
friendly.
I'd take that baseline temperament over
Yeah.
like nervy or scatty or edgy any day. So
yeah, or like a bit like there are some like breeds, or not always breeds, but dogs where like I really can't be asked to do anything with you, and I just do it because you want to, but it's rainy outside and I really don't want to do it. But he's like, wherever you go, I do it with you, and we're gonna have a great time.
yeah. You're in a similar position as me, and I suppose Kirky, in terms of your dog that you currently have. You had prior to becoming a professional dog trainer.
Yes.
Which inevitably means, so long as you get a half decent bred dog next, that dog, like it's happened to me, is going to be significantly better than your original dog.
You can't see the whole range, sure.
Different dogs. Different dogs. I'll always say they're different dogs.
I think when you have that dog, like Ranger was for you and Hank is for me, he went through like a different phase of my life, and he changed my life to the better at the moment. So it is different.
Yeah, for sure.
And sure.
Like I built my career with that dog.
And he can cope with it really well. Like I've seen other like colleagues that didn't have such like motivated dogs that are struggling a little bit to like with that, because they're like in general not so fussed about
I thought that yesterday. Would I be in the same position I'm in now if I didn't have a dog like Ranger? Because if it was he was bad enough that I needed to be good to change him, but good enough that he could then go on to be a good stooge.
Yes.
Now, if he wasn't that bad, then perhaps I wouldn't have had to try as hard as I did and become a dog trainer.
Yeah.
And if he wasn't that good, I wouldn't have become the stooge that he is.
It's kind of, it's different for me though, right? Because I took Rita to a trainer initially, and it kind of put me off training.
Yeah, okay.
And we had that conversation, and your explanation was right. Do it the right way, not that way necessarily.
Yeah.
And then Rita at the time can do more stuff with you. And obviously that convinced me, but because I had more faith in you, whereas my fingers kind of burnt a bit because I didn't like. It wasn't horrendous, but I didn't like the process, and I didn't really see an awful lot of results. So I was just like, well, if this is what training is,
then fuck training. And a lot of clients go through that. They go and see a trainer before they might see you, or they might see us, and they're like, oh, so a dog was dropped off the other day, and the woman asked, are you going to put a shock collar on him? And it was just like, whoa. Because the last trainer put a shock collar on him, made him look at the trigger, and just blasted him into next week. And I'm like, right, I'm not going to put a shock collar on your dog because he's a really nervous dog. What am I going to do? Like, stop being nervous. I don't have an innate problem with remote trainers in terms of e-collars, but obviously she will never be, or it's unlikely. She's had her fingers burnt of a concept or even a whole spectrum of dog trainers because of one dog trainer and just blasted a dog with an e-collar. So I guess that's difficult when you say, right, we're going to introduce a little bit of pressure in terms of, in teaching your dog, and they've gone, yeah, but this trainer did this and took its head clean off when they even looked at another dog. That's difficult, and that's why I don't like the categorization of dog trainers, because just because we are willing to use tools doesn't mean we're the same as this guy over here that's willing to use tools.
I've seen like a quote. It was like, you can use a tool to destroy or to build.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that you like talk.
You follow Hans, don't you? You follow Hans, don't you?
Yeah.
You put that up on his Instagram there.
Yes.
Did he? Hans von Gruber.
I meant to snapshot and send to you. Actually.
Yes.
It was good.
Yes.
Although I have a problem with the post, but I like the concept.
Yeah, but the interesting part of this is in Austria, with Austrian law, e-collars and prong collars are forbidden.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So you are not allowed to work with those.
Ah, interesting. Same with Wales here?
Wales,
Scotland?
Collars. Yeah, Scotland, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Might be.
I mean, a lot of people still do. But that's something as well when you say pressure, what is pressure? And
exactly.
It's a bit more sensitive, I have the feeling, in Austria, because like there's even loads of conversation out there. What is pressure? What is force? Like, I don't know, like a slip leash. Like I work with slip leash as well. Yeah, like this whole baseline of like building up or destroying, like this. It's a massive difference.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of clients really that got really like quick, not just like nice puppy working stuff.
Yeah.
That like came to me and said, I've been at like 3 dog trainers before, and if you are not working, we're giving him away, and stuff like this. And that's something where like I get like really emotional when it's like you see them after like 5-6 sessions, and you can see them grow together, and then they're like, after maybe like, I don't know, I usually 10 sessions are quite good if they work with me, like, and do what I say, and you can tell they have a really good baseline. And they're like, oh, I can't imagine that I said a few weeks ago I would give this dog away because it's so great. So yeah, that's like a big one.
Yeah, and that's probably one of the most rewarding parts of the job, isn't it?
Reinforcement for you, isn't it?
Yeah.
Definitely.
And it makes you, and it helps you overcome those difficulties when people aren't doing the homework. And the worst thing is people don't do the homework, then get rid of the dog.
Yes.
It's like,
at least have a go.
Yeah.
But you will always have those. You can't help it. You can only try. And whether like with the residential, like I think it's really good, but like Austrians in general are like really suspicious at first. When it comes to service. And you are starting off at like a slightly negative baseline, and you have to prove yourself as clients in general. So I think that's why residential training setups haven't been really out there that much. There's the odd trainer who takes a dog in. But then with the ones that I know and see, they have the problem of training them residential at their home and then not showing the owner how it works. I don't know, sometimes like it's out there, it's like, oh yeah, they want to make money out of it again because in 4 months time you have to bring them back again. So
you'd hope not.
Yeah, but if they don't know the tools at home, then if you don't know,
inevitable.
then
the dog's
it
not just gonna go.
It will go back. But yeah.
Do many people in Austria do like any day train stuff, like what we would call kickstarts for us?
You mean like they bring the dog for a day? Not really. I've done like the odd one more for like really reactive dogs, and especially where I can see the owner is scared of going on a walk. I had like one client who like 3 times pulled her shoulder out of her like Labrador. And then it's more of a, it's not the rule. They wouldn't, it's a bit of a difficult one. I think it sometimes would be really good, but people or clients are like, I think in their yeah, in their culture, not that trustworthy at the beginning. So yeah, it takes a few sessions, and then but it's really not often the case.
I think that's one reason we try to push as much content as well, so
Yes.
people can kind of get to know where their dog's going and staying and
Definitely,
stuff. So I think that's a benefit there because of there's plenty of cowboys out there, and they'll be the same in Austria. And I don't mean the good type of cowboy.
No.
No. No.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is a difficult one. And again, there's certain dog trainers that are putting a bad name out there for any dog trainer, never mind what kind of side of the spectrum.
How is it in the UK? Do you need to have a specific license to be a dog trainer or
Nope.
not? No. In Austria, the same, but in Germany, you have to have like it's like an exam you have to take of the state.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have done that exam, no?
No.
No.
It's for Germany.
Do you know anything about that exam?
Yeah, it's not that good.
So, any kind of exam that you could be able to do here, which are all independent organizations, they basically give you information, they give you a test, and demand that you regurgitate the information that they've told you.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily right or wrong.
Yeah.
There's always a two-sided coin to any dog training answer, right?
Yeah.
You know, biological organisms.
Yeah.
It's not very linear when you're addressing any type of dog issue behavior. Yeah. But the problem with a lot of these organizations is they say, here's the information. This is the truth, okay? This is what you're gonna write. We're gonna ask you some questions about this in a second. You better write the fucking answer that we've given you.
Yeah. Anything else is devil work.
Yeah, yeah. And then so it's kind of some of it will be right, some of it may not be quite right, but it feels a little bit disingenuous. Here's the information exactly how we want you to write it. Now, copy and paste that over there.
Yeah.
Has that been the case with the ones that you?
Yeah, I was about to say actually, disappointingly, the quote I've done, some of it is actually wrong, like black and white wrong, and it's not like, oh, this is how to train a dog. It was like some physiological stuff.
Oh, okay.
So there's a bit, but I had to do the same thing. I had to write what they had put in the writing to get the answer right.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I need to email them and say, this is not true, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's
that's a problem. I think so. In some point, I think it might be good to have a bit of this because, like you said, there are a lot of cowboys out there, but then who is like to judge and who is putting together that information? Is it one of those cowboys or?
But the problem is, you could. Well, I've done it. I've done that qualification, and I've gone against what it said because it's not right.
Yeah.
Whereas someone can get any piece of paper, stick it up there, and say, "Okay, I've got this, but I'm going to do this."
Yeah.
Because who's going to come around and say? I mean, maybe you could get an auditor.
Yeah.
But then you would just change it on the day or whatever. So it doesn't make any sense anyway. So yes, it's like a way of regulating, but and maybe making sure there's a minimum standard of education, but it's
not going to ensure that is going to be applied day in, day out when people are training 50 dogs a week or whatever.
And I know a few cowboy trainers out there who made that, like in Austria there are some exams if you like for certain types of if you want to do, I don't know, like assistant dog training or whatever officially with like some I don't know, like companies or whatever.
Gotcha.
Then but they made that, and I know that they were completely different, just so that they have the certificate.
Yeah.
So that's then that.
It happens in all industries, doesn't it?
Yeah,
I guess so. Yeah.
Your PT qualification's terrible, so you do something better afterwards.
Yeah.
Oh, hopefully better. Some not.
Yeah.
But it's the same. It's. I suppose people are making it up, aren't they? But
yeah.
I'm reading the book at the moment, just swaying against all this type of stuff.
Is it?
Kids at school, too safe.
Don't even want to school. No, they're like breaking their wrists and climbing trees and I did. I fell out of a lot of trees.
Exactly.
So many trees.
But now you calculate risk better, apparently.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, there's a lot to be said about decision making and failure, isn't there? Yeah. That's right. Let's go away from the deep stuff and some nice questions to kind of finish up. Your next dog. What breed would you get?
Oh, that's so difficult.
Lean in.
I have thought about this a lot, and I really don't know.
When would it be?
when,
Yeah.
I think it would be a female dog.
Okay.
That I know.
Yep.
And maybe slightly smaller than my.
Are you telling me you're not going to do what every dog trainer does?
I'm not gonna get a Malian. No, no, never.
What?
No.
Get
out of here.
What? No.
Get out of here. No, definitely not a Malinois.
But you're not actually a dog trainer unless you got a Malinois,
No.
apparently. Okay, fair enough.
No.
Okay.
No.
So
That's a big no-no for me, just because. I get a bit of a. Because every like.
yeah.
You don't
Every
have
kid's
to
got
get.
one.
Every fucking
Everybody's got
fucking
one.
moron's got one of them things.
And
Well, it's
yeah.
basically a crossbreed. It's fine.
Yeah,
No, but more down the road.
Are they popular there?
Yeah.
Are they popular with dog trainers there?
Mm-hmm.
Is it just like you're a bit fed up of seeing them? Yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
There is a bit to say, like, you getting one, training it to a high level is great, but do you want to promote that type of dog? Really?
No,
Probably not.
I think that's like something.
I
Like
tried to ban them, if you didn't
yeah,
know.
yeah. That's like
Yeah.
that's a big one for me. Like yeah, and I still, well, it's hard to say, but I still need a dog they're a bit much for me.
Yeah.
I want a dog that like properly can calm down, like not half-assed calm down.
Oh, okay. Yeah, all right, fair enough. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they're wired most of the time.
Yeah. So if I'm doing a session with a reactive dog, let's say, I cannot bring Stark out straight away. Because his level of arousal is going to set the dog. Even if he's playing fucking no shits to him, he's just like bang, like he's on crack.
I'm here,
yeah, chest out and all the rest of it. And that dog's going to be like, who the fuck do you think you are? Why are you shredding around like that? Look at this asshole. I'm Stark. I was famous.
But yeah.
So,
no, really hard. Like I thought about this a lot, but it would definitely be a female dog.
Why?
Because they are sometimes a bit different in their behavior, and can be, when you've got a stronger one, can be a bit more serious, quicker.
Okay.
In my opinion, like in my experience at least.
Any breeds come to mind if you had to like whittle it down to 3?
Categories or something.
Yeah.
God.
Genres.
Genres. More hunting dog again, more in the area. Not really like.
Whistler, Pointer.
I like the Spaniels. They are not that common.
Hey. Half a Spaniel over here.
Yeah. Yeah,
we get loads of. You haven't got that many Spaniels. We've got.
No, it's so many. Like I've been like, when was that? In spring in Edinburgh. I think there are only Spaniels there.
Oh, okay.
Unbelievable.
Okay.
Yeah, something a bit smaller, because in a way that I work with clients and I use a lot, like I use Henk a lot, and I have a lot of like small dogs as well.
Yeah.
To have a second dog that's a bit smaller and can interact easier with smaller dogs would help me in my work.
That's very sensible. Because I can't do like dog on dog social behavior with Stark, because he's just like, I want my ball, I don't care about you, and that's a great thing about him as my dog. When I'm taking him for a walk, he doesn't give a shit about anything, but socializing and mixing with other dogs, like you could do with Blue, where they'll have a sniff and go ass to ass, he doesn't do that.
So, Henk does that, and
ass
to ass.
Come on, mate, let's go ring to ring, buddy. No.
A lot of Labradors play like that,
Nose
though.
to ass. Yeah, all right.
But yeah, no, with like Henk, he's great, and like a lot of clients want to have like a recall working when dogs are playing, and I can use him a lot. But with bigger dogs, and smaller dog breeds are just like shitting themselves when he's there. He's like really social, but yeah.
Get a Frenchie. Get a French bulldog. They don't. Yeah. No. Get a ropey rescue French bulldog. Maybe
Spaniel is quite good.
Female working spaniel.
Yeah, maybe something like that.
Yeah. You want something that can keep up with Hank, I guess. They can't be too great of a disparity.
Yeah.
suppose you can't
And
get a
something-
spaniel cross, like whip it and then a French bulldog. It's
No,
ridiculous.
no.
Yeah.
What
idiot would do that? Yeah.
God.
One's climbing a mountain,
Oh
one's
my
just
God,
fucked in a
yeah.
fucking handbag.
Just wants to be like in a jumper most of
Yeah.
most of the time.
Hey. Hey. Do you have any closing questions? What one of mine? Sorry.
What's next, basically? What's your aspirations? Where are you going to go? Or are you just going to continue what you're doing, or do you have like a?
I will definitely want to continue what I'm doing, like working mainly with like family dogs.
Yep.
But like for myself, I would want to like get a hunting degree at some point.
Oh, okay.
And also go more towards like protection work, because I don't like just knowing about it.
Yeah, okay.
Like courses towards that direction as well, to get in like both areas a little bit more.
Yep.
Because I have a lot of clients who like go on like an obedience dog training club, and then come to me for like environmental stuff, like daily training. And I just want to know a bit more about it other than theory. I've been at a couple of like seminars and stuff. Not that I would want to work it myself too much, but like getting my interest, and maybe more like searching work, like like drug search or whatever. Because scent work. I was searching for the English. Yeah, for the scent work thing, I think it could be good if I get like more geeky about that. That could be something. If you've got like I've got clients that are really high standard.
Oh, okay.
And they want to continue work and do something with their
like
dog.
Extracurricular stuff.
Exactly. And like, I don't know, get your dog working on like mushroom scent or whatever.
Magic ones?
Yeah. Of course, magic ones.
Exclusively magic ones.
But yeah, more towards...
He does crack, cocaine, magic mushrooms.
Everything.
There's nothing he will not find.
It's great to go out with him. But yeah, I think down that lane, what I could like...
Do you
I
have
know
any
a bit...
business model aspirations? Do you wish to change any of that?
Yeah, more that residential, getting that more out, even if it's just a day one.
Yeah.
To...
I think like such a good idea with you, and there's a couple of dog trainers that will do it. If you're remote all day, you just pick the dog up in the morning, the reactive dog, and allow it to stooge for you all day. Drop him home, do a handover session down the park, or meet the owner at the park. That would be a really good idea, I think.
Definitely.
I think our mate Jen does that.
Yeah.
And I think one of the downfalls of having the luxury of like a facility here is the dogs don't spend as much time some days as we'd like off site, or they smash it on site, and then we need to get them off site. And just having that kind of remote is really good, especially
definitely that.
in the face of other reactive dogs and things like that.
Is it a bit more like we said before, like, is it a bit more of a diagnosis as well? You'll see him in front of more dogs in more situations. You're like, okay, it's that, rather than seeing them with one dog in one moment. In Frenchies.
And trying to, I don't know how it is over here, but trying to be open and go out there and like talk to other dog trainers and try and get a bit of it feels like what I like really feel is really sad sometimes. It's like this like competition. Oh, I don't tell you how I work go away and you are taking stuff from me. I think if like you would work together a bit more, and I'm like in a really big area, it's like whole Carinthians, like whole Yorkshire. Like I'm driving a lot, and if I would have a dog trainer that I know works similar and like is in an area that's like still with me, but like an hour away or an hour and a half away, you could like have a bit of a cooperation and work together and help each other. And that's why I was really happy that I could come here and talk to you guys, because I think it's so rare that dog trainers talk to each other and have a bit of a conversation rather than like pick on them and point their finger.
They're so afraid of like not stepping on each other's feet, but giving other people their business and things like that. They almost become. it is very clicky here.
Yeah, is it?
And that's why we've got one of our t-shirts has got like the Cobra Kai logo on, because it's like Cobra Kai with all the different dojos.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's inevitable. We're going to try and do a lot more of that, I suppose. Networking.
Yeah.
You like that?
Yeah.
There you go.
Main culprit. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like this guy. No, he doesn't. He can't hang around with us.
Yeah.
But yeah.
There are enough untrained dogs out there.
Yeah.
For everyone.
Yeah.
For everyone.
There's plenty to go around. Yeah. Yeah, and if all else fails, we'll just train Kirkies. It's fine. But yeah, do you have anything else you want to ask about? We've got 4 minutes left, I believe. So.
Okay. Yeah, like how did you get into it?
I had a really naughty dog that needed dog training, and then I took the dog to dog training.
Like a mobile
It's a tasty
trainer,
story.
or
This,
like
and then no, similar setup to us actually.
All right, yeah.
And I worked there for a couple of years. Decided I would like to train dogs differently, and then left. Recruited this man next to me, and then over the span of the last 2 years, we've then built this up to now 7 or 8 members of staff.
Yeah.
But that naughty dog is still with us today.
Yeah.
She's still stooging. But yeah, the classic baptism by fire.
Yeah.
I think earlier, and I do want to do a podcast on Darla, because I think there's a lot of people out there that are in a similar position to what I was in, and she was so bad that I needed to be really good to help her. It was like you've got no choice but to become a professional dog trainer if you want this dog to live a normal life. Yeah.
If you want to be able to,
you're gonna have to probably quit your regular job here, mate. So
live for me.
Yes. Yep. And then here we have it. So yeah, that's probably how I got into it. Do you want to briefly answer that question? Because I think
we brushed on it, didn't we? I didn't expect, and I didn't dislike the guy. I didn't dislike the process. I just think he was perhaps marginally limited at that time in what he knew. I actually even paid him more than he asked for, because he spent longer with me than he said he would do. So I had no issue with like process and what have you, but I was just like, this isn't getting me very far. Yeah. It's very negative.
I think there's always a better way. And I'm not saying our way is the best way, but we strive to find the better way. And we're always chatting every single day about how things can get better.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest crime is not trying to be better for that owner, for that dog, and taking the whole picture in. I think once you become stagnant, which is what I've seen in a couple of other places, that's when you're doing a disjustice. Is disjustice a word? Do we establish if that's injustice? Whatever. But yeah, always striving to be better.
Learn more, trying to look into different ways of training and pick the best out, what you think is all right, and try and learn.
As long as you are truly doing what you think is currently the best way you can possibly do, I think that's fine. But when you stop trying to better it, I think that's where problems are going to kick in. And we're at a minute, so we've been queued to sign out. So thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Coming all the way from Austria.
Thank you.
Yeah, and then finally,
I'll be back.
Thank you.